This book fucked me up. Hello friends! Today I am going to talk to you about a book that made me cry so loudly and so earnestly that my boyfriend asked me to please be quiet because he could not hear the end of his audiobook. And that book would be The Traveling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arakawa. Without giving any spoilers, this book is about a street cat named Nana who gets injured and is taken in by a cat-loving guy named Satoru, which I watched the trailer for the movie 4 times, trying to learn how to pronounce his name, so just know that I tried. Nana and Satoru then go on to travel Japan and meet 4 old friends from Satoru's childhood and young adulthood. Now, I wanted to do pros and cons with my reviews, but the truth is I don't really have any negative things to say about this book. Instead, I think I'm going to do a positives and neutrals because I think that there are some things in this book that not everybody would like, but it just wound up working out that I did like those things. So to start off with, I guess let's start with the positives. If you're a cat lover or an animal lover in general, I'm going to say that this is probably going to be a book that you enjoy. So I found this book. It is by a Japanese author, and almost Battle Royale definitely did not fit into this category. Almost all of the Japanese media that I've consumed over the years kind of has like a certain vibe to it. And I feel like that's true for American and Britain and, you know, like every country has its own kind of vibe that goes into its media and to its works. So this kind of gave me very strong like Studio Ghibli vibes where nature was a very big, important presence in this story, and friendship and love and animals were a very important like component to the story. If you are looking for a book that is going to make you feel things, this is a fantastic book. I felt so many emotions about so many different things. They touch on a lot of different subjects, I want to say, not just in Satoru's story, but as he's visiting his childhood friends, there are flashbacks to when they were children, and it really does delve into a bunch of different topics. So if you're looking for a book that's really going to just like make you feel, be in your feels, this is a great book for that. The characters are great. I really liked each of the friends that you visit throughout the story. There wasn't really a friend that I didn't like because I feel like even though you don't spend a lot of time with them, the characters are very well rounded in the short amount of page time that they have. Also, because I love physical things to comment on, the aesthetic of this is fantastic. I will say there is a really great French cover to this book. I'm going to put that right there because it's just so funny. But this is the American copy, and the texture of the book jacket is almost like a watercolor paper. And in the book itself, I will start off with something that's not going to have a spoiler. This is the prologue, and it is The Cat with No Name. I'm going to zoom in on it if you cannot see it. Hopefully these lights are not too bright. But there are pictures before each section, and those pictures are done in a watercolor type style, which I thought really kind of brought the book together, which was nice. So the aesthetics are great. The story is great. The characters are great. Really, and it's not too long. It's a very little book, but it packs a big presence, and it packs a lot of emotion, and it's a little guy, but he packs a big punch. On to my neutrals. The prose can be a tad simple at times. I'm not sure if this is because it is translated from a different language or if that was the style the original author intended. I kind of liked the fact that the prose are really simple though, because it is told from Nana's point of view for the most part, and I feel like an animal's point of view would be very simple, not to be rude to animals. I'm not saying they're simple beings, but I feel like animals don't worry about things the way humans worry about things. So of course their inner voice would be a little bit more simple and to the point. So the plot is also very slow in the beginning. Again, I feel like this is a trend in a lot of Japanese media that I personally have read and watched, where it focuses more on characters and atmosphere as opposed to the plot itself. If you like manga and Studio Ghibli and that kind of stuff and that kind of feel that so full disclosure, I used to be a giant weeb back in the day, and one of my favorite parts about anime and Studio Ghibli and manga and all that kind of stuff was like there was just this certain type of vibe that those things gave me, like the focusing on everyday life and just the beauty of everyday life. And again, I know not all Japanese media is made equal. This is just the type that I myself have consumed. It's very like that in the beginning, where it's very simple and it's more focusing on making you feel a certain type of way with the atmosphere and with the characters themselves. So with that being said, the last half to fourth of the book, there is definitely a plot, and it picks up rather quickly. So if you can get past the simple beginnings, which again, I don't not like, but I know that not everybody likes a simple story or a very plot heavy story. If you can get past that to get to the very, very nice plot at the end, I believe it's totally worth it if you're not into that type of thing. Also, if you don't like, I know my boyfriend and I were talking about this book, and he kind of mentioned that he didn't know how he would feel reading something from an animal's point of view. So if that isn't something that you enjoy, then you're probably not going to like this, because like I said, Nana is the almost main voice of the story. That stuff was my spoiler-free stuff. Now let's move on to the spoilers so I can throw up my feelings all over you. So, spoilers start here. Turn away, ye who do not want to enter. The things that got me in this book. I had an inkling of what was going to happen. Back in my day, I watched a lot of Asian dramas in Asian soap operas, and somebody always had a terminal illness. So, I had my suspicions when I started reading this book, and it was the mystery as to why he wasn't getting rid of his cat. And in my head, I was like, terminal illness. He has some kind of terminal illness. But as the plot went on, I was like, I really don't want it to be terminal illness. Please don't let him have a terminal illness. I don't want it to be terminal illness, because I really grew to love Satoru, because, oh my god, that boy's life was so hard. Like, so hard. So, what got me the most about this story, right? A lot of things did, and I'm probably gonna cry because, like, it stuck with me. Satoru had a very hard life. Like, very hard life. Like, his parents died when he was a kid. He had to move around a lot. He couldn't keep his freaking childhood cat, and the cat got freaking hit by a car. He found out he was adopted. Like, got a terminal illness. Like, this kid had a hard freaking life. And to watch, like, the grace that the character, like, just dealt with the things that came his way was incredible, and was really well written. I mean, it's so much harder when, you know, knowing that he had gone through all of these things and knowing that it would end the way it would end. I found even when Satoru was in the hospital, I was like, it's gonna turn around, it's gonna be okay, he's gonna somehow come out of it, the love of his cat is gonna bring him through or something. I don't know, but there's no way this guy can die. This ending was so much, and the way that Nana, you know, leaves the aunt's house and becomes a stray on the street so he can hang out with Satoru for the brief moments that he can, was so freaking beautiful, because, like, that is, like, the loyalty of a pet, you know? The way that, you know, when it's, like, Satoru's final day and the aunt smuggles Nana in, was so good. And what was cool about it, you know, obviously it was a very sad situation, but Nana being a cat and being an animal where death is just a thing that happens and is a natural thing that happens, Nana is not sad. I mean, he's not happy, but he's not devastated that Satoru is dying, because that's a natural part of life, right? But the hard part for Nana, and what is bothering Nana so much, is he wants to be there with Satoru because he is his cat until the end. And that was a really cool, like, different angle that I feel like she took with that. Like, not just that, you know, he's sad because he's dying, because he's not, because he's, you know, he understands, but the loyalty of a pet where he wanted to be there with his owner, to be there with him in his final days, was just very powerful. The ending was so powerful when it shows you over time, you know, Nana's life after Satoru, and how he lives with Satoru's aunt, and he has a good life. He has a good life afterwards, and Satoru's aunt adopts a kitten, and he sees Satoru in his dreams, and Satoru's just like, hey bud, you're getting pretty old. You wanna come, join me over here? And he's like, I will after I, train this kitten to be a good cat. And something about, like, that trope of, like, God, this reminds me of Harry Potter all over again. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Something about the ghost of a loved one coming to somebody and telling them that it is okay to let go and pass away. I don't know why, but that trope destroys me. Like, utterly devastates me. But, so that happened, and that hit me. So, this book handled grief and death and love so well. One of the best books, honestly, about those topics that, like, I have ever read, I feel. I feel like I didn't go in thinking that this book was going to impact me this much. I really didn't. On the jacket insert, you don't even know it's going to be sad. On the Goodreads insert, it kind of gives you more of a hint that, hey, you're going to freaking cry. It's been like a week and a half since I've read that, and I, like, couldn't stop thinking about it the next day. Even all these times now, like, talking about it, like, I can't help but cry because it just, it touched me so much. Just Satoru's, like, positivity in the face of what he had to deal with. His aunt is worried and talking to Nana about, can I believe that Satoru lived a good life with all the he had to deal with, basically. And, like, I feel like the point of this book is, like, he did have a lot of thrown at him, but, like, he did have a good life and he was happy. I don't know. This was good. This was a good book. So, has anybody read it? If you haven't read it, you should read it. You shouldn't have come this far, because now you're spoiled. If you have read it, tell me what you thought about it, because I really just genuinely want to talk about it more, because it was everything. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, I would appreciate you forever. Thank you for watching me cry on camera today. It's very good. I hope y'all weren't as uncomfortable as I'm sure I will be editing this video. Catch you guys on the flip side. Bye. Thank you.